Oh, welcome in. Oh, everybody's coming in hot already. It's
Do it.
almost like it's it's the first big NBA slate of the season, and then people need help. They need help from my guy Ghost, who apparently 2-game slate last night. Not bad for just a 2-game slate over here at Win Daily Sports. But this is all sponsored by the Sharp app. Go to sharp.link. All the ways that you can download the Sharp app, whether it's the Google Play Store, Apple App Store. Also, a few housekeeping notes as well. Still the 1-week free trial that you can go get. Use the promo code LiveWeek. I'll put that link in the comments for you. 1-week free trial here at Win Daily Sports. Optimizer is included in that. And look, you can get PGA, NASCAR, NBA and NFL advice during that 1 week. See everything that we have to offer. So 1-week free trial, promo code LiveWeek, link in the description. I'll put that one in the comment section. And then also the Win Daily free roll, a nice free-to-play contest that we have going on over at Draftkings. And all you have to do, wds.1/Draftkings. That link will send you straight over to our contest. First place winner, get 1 year free of Win Daily Gold. Also, you'll get to go talk about your winning lineup over on Win Daily Sports, SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio Show. And then also, if you place in the top 2,000, you get a Win Daily package as well, gold membership package. So sign up, all of those links. I'll put those in the comments. But Ghost, how do we attack? I'll start here because, again, it's a lot of firsts for many people, and I think refreshers need to be made. How do we attack a big slate, especially in an 11-game one?
You got to be able to shrink the player pool as much as you can. I'm a big believer in planting our flag somewhere where it's to the point. I really don't like the whole term all have shares of this person. That's not how you win a tournament, especially not in NBA at least. Yeah. You simply cannot play everyone, especially on a slate like this where it's essentially the first slate of the year outside of yesterday's 2-gamer, which we absolutely smashed. So happy to see all those green screens out there in Discord. Shout out to everybody that did well last night, which was seemingly everybody, which was a great thing to wake up to this morning. But man, oh man, that was it was a good start to the season. But we have to be able to cross off games. It's all about looking at game environments, and when I mean that, it's two things that I was mentioning yesterday, and that's the game pace, how many projected possessions are each team going to have, and we want the worst defensive ratings possible. I don't want to see a 97 to 95, type of game here. We want these games with 110s, 120s on each side of the scoreboard, keeping it close. And that's another key factor. We need teams to keep it close. We can't have games that, even if they shoot out, but if it happens in fourth quarter garbage time, that does us absolutely no good. So that's the main thing for me on a slate like this. You have to be able to shrink your player pool. Yeah. And if it means not playing a guy that, even if you think that you really like him, you have to make that hard choice between player A, player B, and player C. If you're able to play two of them, great. But to be able to say that you're going to play everyone, you're not going to do well on a slate like this.
Yeah, so let's get into this slate here as we take a look at some of the names that are going to be on it and some of the games that we're going to go with. I'll start there. What is the first game that we're going to want to attack here on this slate?
For me, it's going to be Washington and Toronto. Anytime the Wizards are on a slate, you're going to see
right back to the Wizards.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, put into the
it's fact appropriate. It's very appropriate.
It's just what it is, right? Like we're talking about multiple years in a row now where this team is the recipe for success when it comes to NBA DFS. Top 5 in pace ranking, bottom 5 in defensive rating. This team cannot play defense, and this team plays fast.
Yep,
that's exactly what we need, guys. That is what we're talking about, which is what I was describing just about 30 seconds ago. Put into the fact of the Toronto team that not only wants to play small, but needs to play small. Gone are the days of our championship roster with Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol. We got guys like Kem Birch, Chris Boucher.
That feels like forever ago. That only happened, a couple of years ago? It feels like forever.
It was only a couple of years ago where, Kawhi and Lowry, of course, were leading the parade out there in Toronto, not too far from here in Montreal. So it was a great thing to see. But thanks, Mike. Love you too, man. Yes, Jimmy absolutely crushed yesterday.
Derek crushed.
So it was really good.
Love it.
But this is a spot where you have to be able to attack it. I mean, you have Pascal Siakam out for Toronto, and there are so many value plays, and there are a lot of decent mid-range players as well today that, typically I don't dive into the mid-range. Today I'm kind of avoiding that as well. But if there is one guy that I am going after, it's going to be OG Anunoby. You already
Of
know,
course.
pull it up on
I
screen.
already know.
We've had way too many shows together for you not to know that by now. But this is what I've been saying for years now. It feels like that OG is going to be one of the best 3-and-D wings in the league. And with Siakam out, you really saw it throughout preseason how much Fred VanVleet is prioritizing getting this man the ball. And just seeing him being able to develop his jump shot over the past 2 years, especially, and seeing him being able to slash to the hoop that he's doing and rebounding well on both sides of the glass. Like, if you are dipping into the mid-range tonight, seeing a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr., who I do like as a play today, but seeing him coming in as a top 5 owned guy on slate, why not flip to a better game environment here and go with OG Anunoby, right? So that would be more of a large play contest. And again, it's just one example. I can give you a million examples because, again, it is a large slate, but you have to be able to plant your flag. So I do like JJJ a ton tonight, but there are the necessary pivots if you are that style of player. But I leave the choice up to you guys. I do really like OG Anunoby tonight. For me, it is the rookie, the kid, Scotty Barnes, who is going to be a staple point in my lineup from this game. Sitting there way down there at 3,400. I was so excited when they drafted Scotty Barnes over Jalen Suggs.
I love how I put him up like there's going to be, I'm going to see a face or I'm going to see stats. Yes, I love how I pulled that up like it was going to work.
Just yet.
Not yet.
Just yet, but this is a great game environment for Scotty Barnes. Very similar player to OG Anunoby, athletic wing that can crash the glass hard. Being able to fill in that slot for Pascal Siakam. They are going to give Scotty a ton of run tonight. I expect no less than 25 plus minutes for Scotty Barnes alongside Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby as the key 3-man rotation there for Coach Nick Nurse in Toronto. So Scotty Barnes, he will be relatively high owned for a rookie, but there are a absolute ton of rookies pulling high ownership numbers. There are a ton that I'm fading. Scotty Barnes is not one of them. He is number 1 lock in my lineup.
I think the 7.4, I imagine that's for OG and not Scotty Barnes. I would imagine Scotty Barnes is not 4K higher.
7.4 on FD. I would not pay that for OG Anunoby. That is a little bit high in my opinion. Seeing him there at 6.1 on DK is much more reasonable. Barnes is still a play on Fanduel. I think I think he clips over 30 fantasy points tonight, which would be a tremendous value on DraftKings, but it still gets you there on FanDuel, especially with how Scar's power forward is. Yeah,
that definitely makes a lot of sense. Now, of course, I think a game like this, as you just said, it's really good for the mid-range, really good for value. Were you looking at any of the top guys, Beal, Vliet?
Yeah, so I sent a bit of a, like, I guess I could call it a meme. It's not really a meme because it's in a text form, but I did post in Discord today and I sent it to the boys and they were kind of laughing. They're
Yoshi
like,
Hammer? Is this the first Yoshi Hammer?
This guy actually drew a house. But no, I drew a house and I said, in this house, we stand Bradley Beal. And we play Bradley Beal every night that we can. And seeing a ridiculously high-owned Spencer Dinwiddie, this man's coming off the couch for the first time in what seems like a decade, actually playing his first game, coming off serious knee injuries, being plural. That to me is a spot where if Dinwiddie goes off, it wouldn't surprise me in the least. He has the game environment to be able to do it and he can hoop. But getting Bradley Beal at sub 5% ownership with a guy that we're talking about hit 40 plus shots multiple times, not just one game where he went bonkers. We're talking about a guy that takes 40 field goal attempts when Russell Westbrook is not in the lineup. Spencer Dinwiddie will not have the same effect on this offense that Russell Westbrook had. And neither will an addition like Kyle Kuzma or Montrezl Harrell. These guys are all going to be able to take shots, but not nearly as much volume as Russell Westbrook had for the Washington Wizards last season. So seeing Bradley Beal at the top of the pricing grid for me is nothing new. It's never stopped me from playing him. And getting one of the best pure scorers in the NBA in one of my favorite game environments on this slate, get a little 1-2 action with Bradley Beal and Scotty Barnes, to me is the route that I am taking. There are a couple different studs that you can pay, but right now for me, Bradley Beal, a little 1-2 action in one of the earlier games for me is going to be one of my most used routes for my lineups tonight.
What's another game we're going with here outside of Washington, Toronto? I should have known that one was going to be it. So where are we going next here?
I will talk about Houston, Minnesota. This is a game where, again, we got two bottom feeders in the NBA standings year after year after year, essentially.
Look at these ranks of like the
and
opponent ranks.
it
It's just a
is
bunch of green.
there is no defense being played in this game whatsoever. Houston has what it seems to be like 14 rookies on the roster outside of 15 guys.
That always
like,
seems good. Yeah.
And it's great, right? And even a guy like Christian Wood, for me, is as close to a rookie as it gets for a guy that has NBA experience, because he hasn't been able to be unleashed in an NBA offense yet, but he can do that out here in Houston. Going up against KarlAnthony Towns is definitely not the most favorable matchup, but Minnesota really struggles in the paint. So we're talking about that mid-range again. A guy like Christian Wood is certainly in my player pool. KarlAnthony Towns at the top. Looked absolutely amazing out there in preseason, having any way that he wants with any defense that he played. Granted, it is preseason, and I really don't take that into account too much. But what I did notice is that he is in great shape. And that for me is absolutely important for the big men that I play in NBA DFS. We can't have guys slugging it up and down the court, being tired after 25 minutes. We need guys playing some serious minutes in our NBA DFS lineups. Minutes equate money in NBA DFS. So KarlAnthony Towns is definitely in my player pool for my top end studs, which I plan on having 3 studs in my lineup tonight because of how much value is available to us. So
3 studs. All right. So I can just hit that little ad button right there. All right. 3 studs.
You can. But needless to say, I'm not playing guys like Anthony Edwards with a healthy D'Angelo Russell and KarlAnthony Towns there. As much as I want to play Kevin Porter Jr., much more viable on FanDuel at 6,100, especially at a very thin small forward position where he's dual eligible out there on FanDuel now that they actually have multi-positional eligibility. At the small forward position, I do really like KPJ on FanDuel, less so on Draftkings at nearly $8,000. That's just way too high. But another value play in this one, another rookie, Jalen Green, second overall pick in the latest NBA draft at 4,200.
Love it.
We need Jalen Green slashing and dashing to be able to be successful in the early stages of his career. And, seeing Eric Gordon out there in the starting lineup kind of worries me just a little bit. He is a grizzled vet. It's not to the point where he's going to go out there and take 25 shots. Gone are those days for Eric Gordon. That was approximately 10 years ago. But, seeing Jalen Green at 4,200, if he's able to offset his minutes with Kevin Porter Jr. and really be able to be that primary ball handler for, even if it's just 15 minutes out of the 26 to 28 that he'll see tonight, I love this spot for Jalen Green. Going up against guys like D'Angelo Russell and the rest of this Minnesota backcourt is a dream scenario for a kid making his NBA debut tonight. So another rookie that is certainly in my player pool. All depends if you are going to get there. And there is another 4K guy that is pulling ridiculous ownership that not many people are starting Jalen Green in their NBA DFS lineups tonight. So being able to get him on DK is certainly enticing.
Yeah, that is very enticing. So it looks like the rookies are going to give us the salary relief we need when it comes to because as you said, we want to get 3 studs in there. So it does seem like that the rookies are going to give us some of that salary relief. So who is the other stud? I'm curious. Or I mean, how many studs are there? Are you playing 3 specifically, or is there just enough of a pool here of stud players that you are at least getting 3 of some of the ones that you like?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting 3 in every single lineup, just because there are some studs that are even priced at 9K that it even allows me to get a guy like OG Anunoby or another point guard that I absolutely love. For those in Discord, everyone knows that was also part of my house meme, who we play every single night. But we're actually going to your Philadelphia 76ers.
Hey, Joel.
And we're going with the process tonight. An absolute dream matchup.
Wait, Trey Roten is on the floor, so I don't know what you mean. The process isn't.
No, we're going with Joel Embiid. No, everything's going to be good tonight for Joel Embiid. For a guy that just went into a press conference and says, I don't care about Ben Simmons, this guy's got a chip on his shoulder. He's fired up. Absolutely love this spot in a Zion-less New Orleans Pelican roster who will struggle mightily in the paint. Flipping big man Steven Adams for a more offensive Jonas Valanciunas. Joel blows in the paint. Just
yes, he does.
Cakewalk for Joel Embiid out there. He could shoot the 3. He could bully Joel down low, and this offense will run through Joel Embiid for 36 plus minutes. So with everybody, surprisingly, Adam, Brian, and I were discussing this today, surprisingly going to Nikola Jokic tonight, I am paying $200 more for Joel Embiid.
Love it.
He is absolute lock city as one of my studs. And if you are not too comfortable with that double center lineup. Don't worry about it. I will be mentioning other studs, especially for our late night hammer, or as some of the boys call it, the marteau de soir. So I will be going with Joel Embiid in every single one of my lineups there.
Is that the only thing you're going with the Sixers? Or I'm
giving the value today. We're giving the value. We are giving the value. I do like Seth Curry. Less of a value play because of that price tag, but I really do think it's going to be bombs away for Chef Jr. tonight out there in Philadelphia. Great matchup on the guards. And man, it's like you please exit my brain. Already bringing up Maxey. That was the next guy I'm going to talk about. So Maxey being a top 5 rostered player, going up against guys like Devontae Graham and Nickeil Alexander-Walker and no Lonzo Ball out there in New Orleans anymore as he took his talents to Chicago. They do not have a guard that can defend. What used to be a very defensive perimeter for New Orleans, obviously originating with the likes of Jrue Holiday back when he was there. They now have nobody that can guard the outside, with Thomas Satoransky now seemingly shifting to the wing in the later stages of his career. No Shake Milton. Tyrese Maxey is getting the keys to the offense tonight. It's going to be a lot of easy assists to Joel Embiid, a lot of pick and roll with Joel Embiid. Maxey can hit the floaters, he can hit the mid-range fairly easy, or he can just simply burn Devontae Graham and Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the outside and get to the hoop with ease when everybody's watching Joel on the roll side of the pick and roll. So I really do like Tyrese Maxey in this. I
hope everybody sees what I'm trying to highlight. There is only one true active point guard on the Sixers tonight. One.
That is correct. And this is what we talked about on your show, of course, many times, where I'm expecting them to be able to acquire a ball handler. But until then, we are absolutely hammering Maxey.
Is that why Seth Curry's a solid play? Because he's likely going to take over some ball handling duty. He's going to, out of necessity.
It is, right? Like, no player in the NBA outside of, playoff Kevin Durant apparently can play 48 minutes in an NBA game, especially not when it's their season debut. Maxey's coming nowhere near 48 minutes tonight. Someone's got to handle the ball, and it certainly isn't going to be a guy like Korkmaz or anyone like that. So I would expect, a little bit of point forward from Tobias Harris tonight if Doc wants to shake things up, but I don't think he will. I think that both Curry and Maxey are going to get the primary ball handling duties. I don't expect Joel Embiid to be carrying the ball up and down the court in the first game of what should be an MVP-esque season for the process.
So as we're kind of seeing here, forwards is the spot where we need to find a little bit of value. Is that what you've been kind of waiting on to tell us here? Is that what you've been leading us towards?
So I did give a lot of value plays already. For this one, I'm going to say check the model. There is a certain Toronto Raptor,
of course,
that I love tonight. I have, obviously I like the Raptors to no one's surprise, but there is a certain Toronto Raptor that I've had in the projected starting lineup since I ran the model this morning at maybe like 5:30. So he was in the starting lineup alongside Scotty Barnes. I've yet to get confirmation on that, but
hold on. Did I maybe get? Let me see. No, you're good. You can keep going, but I think I maybe got somebody.
So you can end up looking for it. It is a power forward. He's also, I'll even give it away a little bit. He is center eligible as well. But there is a man way down towards the bottom of the list on the Toronto Raptors that should be starting, barring any confirmation that it is Khem Birch. I highly doubt it. Seeing what he did in preseason in that starting lineup alongside Scotty, OG, Fred VanVleet, and then Gary Trent Jr., of course.
I think somebody gave it away. Precious. I think 2 people have given it away.
It is my precious. If anyone has confirmation if he's starting tonight, please let me know.
Your boy, your guy.
Scotty, shout out Adam, man, always coming through. Miles as well. I actually just see the comments now rolling in. So
you didn't want to give it away because we're giving away a lineup. We're giving away a lineup probably eerily similar to the one you love.
Yeah, we're getting awfully close here, so I can't give up too much of the sauce. But
I won't ask for the next forward. I won't do that.
So that is I'm going double Raptor forward. A lot of people have been asking me about Chris Boucher, and does that worry me at all? It does not. I currently have both of these guys for 25 minutes. And Precious should be able to absolutely eat up the likes of Daniel Gafford and Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell has one of, if not the worst defensive ratings in the entire NBA for the past 5 years. So Boucher is going to eat off the bench, but seeing Precious at half the price there, and I have both of them for 25 minutes right now, it's a no-brainer for me to take that value in Precious Achiuwa at 3,100, who is a key part of that Lowry sign and trade with the Miami Heat, of course.
So I know we've gone over a lot here, and we pretty much have the lineup. I'm not going to give away the last one; we'll keep it. But just it's certain games, I'll go to this next. It feels like we've gone over a lot of the games that you are going to be taking. What ones are you specifically avoiding? What are some star players? I'll say that you are avoiding for today.
Yeah. So as much as I like Utah, their season outlook, I was high on them last season, and that paid off big in the futures market. They really took that next jump. Matchup against OKC just doesn't do it for me. And as much as on the flip side, as much as I like SGA, it is a bit spicy to play SGA with CJ McCollum. I'll touch on that game. That is my other favorite game of the night. I'll talk about 3 games: Washington, Toronto, Houston, Minnesota. The Philly guys, of course, going up against New Orleans, who are trying to play at a faster pace, and then the late night hammer, the mouthful swallow being Portland versus Sacramento. So seeing all of these guys being able to fill out the rest of our DFS lineup. Right now, I will touch on that last game before anything else. The late night hammer between Damian Lillard and De'Aaron Fox, CJ McCollum, Tyrese Halliburton, alongside Davion Mitchell as well, who I had projected going to the Warriors at 7. I was absolutely devastated to not see him go to the Warriors at 7. But the year before that, I said Tyrese Halliburton has to be a top 5 draft pick. He fell to Sacramento. I said Davion Mitchell has to be a top 5 draft pick. If he's not going top 5, he has to go at 7 to the Warriors. Fell all the way to Sacramento. Again, it seems like these guys are just getting draft picks in their lap. That game is going to go absolute bonkers, and you need to have a piece of it. You need Dame, you need CJ, you need one of these studs, because De'Aaron Fox is what we all, well, at least for my for my age group, what we grew up watching with Prime John Wall, Prime Russell Westbrook, all of these guys playing fast. Like picture Ricky Bobby saying, "I want to go fast." That's the way De'Aaron Fox plays. He is the up-pace point guard of the NBA and extremely underrated out there in Sacramento, because unfortunately not a lot of people watch those games. I love watching Sacramento games. Going up against Portland, who ranked bottom 5 against primary ball handlers for nearly every single season of Damian Lillard's career. I love that late night hammer between De'Aaron Fox and Damian Lillard. So when I said that if you're not too fond of the double center builds, you can go another way, put 2 and 2 together. That is the way that I'm going. And then if you're not comfortable paying all the way up there and you're more of a mid-range style player, personally, I'm not doing that, but the choice is up to you guys. Tyrese Halliburton, Davion Mitchell, and then CJ McCollum on the other side at 7,200 are all guys that I love in this spot. And games that I'm crossing off of are, pretty much games. I don't want to say every game that I haven't spoken about,
right?
But seeing a Boston versus New York game just doesn't do it for me. Are there individual pieces that I like in that game? Yeah, I think Mitchell Robinson has, a great season, but again, it is his first actual game back from injury. Seeing Robert Williams, also known as Time Lord, out there at 5,100, Mitch Rob is going to give him everything that he can handle in the paint. They're very two similar style of players. So again, at the exact same price, Mitch Rob versus Robert Williams. As much as it pains me to say this as a really big Mitch Rob fan, I'll side with Robert Williams because of Mitch Rob's foul trouble. But are there individual pieces that I like in this game? Yes. Is it good enough for me to get a 1-2 punch a la Bradley Beal, Scotty Barnes, Precious Achiuwa, a Damian Lillard, and De'Aaron Fox style? It is not, so I have no exposure to this game whatsoever. Memphis guys, there are a couple individual plays. Make sure you guys join our Discord chat to be able to get those. Guys like JJJ, Adam nailed it in the article. Desmond Bain, I felt bad. I texted him by accident. I really hope I didn't wake Adam up this morning, but I texted the group chat at like 6 in the morning. I was like, Desmond Bain is going bonkers at 3,200. So I really do like Desmond Bain at 32 with Dylan Brooks, one of my favorite NBA players to watch, being sidelined out there. And Jean Morant also garnering interest for me in GBPs. The price is really high, but as is the ceiling. So do I like individual players in these games? Yes. They're just not good enough for me to get that 1-2 punch.
Yeah, and we do have a lineup right here. Maxey, Melton, Barnes, Sabonis, Embiid, Lillard, Bane, and Robert Williams.
Yeah, so I didn't talk about Domantas Sabonis. Obviously, everyone knows I play Domantas Sabonis every single night.
Mm-hmm.
For those that it's their first time watching, welcome to the Win Daily Sports Show, where we play.
Welcome to the Domantas Sabonis show,
where we played Domantas Sabonis, DeJounte Murray, Bradley Beal,
every single slate, just automatically, just nail them in.
So it's just automatic. But yeah, Sabonis and DeJounte Murray are two guys that I didn't mention, but everyone knows that I absolutely love those guys. I saw Derek actually comment DeJounte Murray. So yeah, if you know, you know kind of thing. But yeah, I really do like this lineup. My only fear would be both Bane and Melton getting there together. Considering Jean Morant's 3-point shot has looked much improved from what I was seeing from Memphis's preseason tapes and just, seeing what they're discussing in their training camp. Jean Morant apparently has a pretty good shot from deep now, and he plays fast too. He's going to be able to get to the hoop there. And of course, Steven Adams grabbing all those rebounds for him. And I do like Jaren Jackson Jr., who just secured the bag on a 4-year extension. So surprisingly, there are a lot of mouths there to feed. It's not like a Western Conference All-Star team type of mouths to feed, but there are some good guys there. So I would pick one of Melton or Bane and simply swap that to another guy. The rest looks great.
I love it. That is it for us here. Go for more in the Discord chat. Ghost is going to be there along with others that are going to help you set your NBA DFS lineups. And be sure, 1 week free trial, WDS.1/live week. You can use that link to send you to the 1 week free trial checkout page, and you can use that for the optimizer projection model. Everything that a gold member would get, you'll get in that 1 week free trial. And then also be sure the Win Daily free roll, that link also in the comments, WDS.1/Draftkings. Sign up for the free roll. First place winner gets 1 year of Win Daily Gold for free. And also the top 2,000 spots will get some Win Daily packages as well. That is it for us. We'll actually be back in a couple of minutes, so stay right here on the Win Daily YouTube page, because we're going to be doing some quarterbacks and stacks with our guy Joel. That's coming up next. But thank you, Ghost. Good luck, everybody, tonight in the NBA DFS slate. We'll be back with more NBA tomorrow right here at WinDailySports.com.